All right, I want to welcome all of you to the Honors Algebra 2, Chapter 10 study guide, getting ready for our test on probability and statistics. So let's get ourselves started. You roll a six-sided die and then spin the spinner. Find the number of possible outcomes in the sample space and then list all the possible outcomes. So listing all the possible outcomes, you can do a flow chart or you can list them. So I can roll a 1 and then each of the colors in the spinner. So there's 1 and then that. So then it'll be the same for all of them. So I could do 2 in a red, 2 in a blue, 2 in a yellow, 2 in a green, 3 in a red, 3 in a yellow, 3 in a blue, 3 in a green. Running out of space here. 4 in a yellow, 4 in a red, 4 in a blue, 4 in a green, 5 in a yellow, 5 in a blue, 5 in a red, 5 in a green, and the last one, 6 in a yellow, 6 in a blue, 6 in a red, and 6 in a green, for a grand total of 24 possible outcomes. So now, what is the probability of getting a number less than 3 and a green? So a green and a number less than 3, 2 out of 24, which is 1/12. Next one, you find the probability of the dart thrown at the target will hit the shaded region. So the shaded region is on the outside there. Assume that the dart is equally likely to hit any point. So I need the full area of the triangle. So the area of the triangle and the area of the circle. And then I got to find the area of the shaded region. So let's talk the area of the whole triangle. Half base times height. So 35. Area of the circle is pi r squared. Now the shaded region, you would have to take 35 minus 24.62. So the shaded region is 10.38 divided by the entire triangle for a grand total of 29.7%. So you needed the area of the triangle, the area of the circle, find the area of the shaded region divided by the total area. The survey 200,237 adults ages 18 and over asked which sport is their favorite. The results are shown in the figure. What is the probability that an adult chosen, so there's your total number, prefers auto racing? So I go over, it's 179 out of 2,237 surveyed. Wording of these questions always matters. As part of the board game, you need a spinner shown, which is divided into equal parts. Find the probability you will get a 5 on the first roll. There's a 1 out of 6 chance that you're going to get a 5. And, so I'm going to multiply, a number less than or equal to 3. Well, there are 3 out of the 6. So 3 out of 36, and you must reduce all fractions. A drawer contains 12 blue pencils, 6 red. You randomly select 3 pencils from the drawer. What is the probability you will select a blue, a red, then a blue if you replace each one? So again, it's replacing. So when you draw a blue pencil, there's a 12 out of 18 chance. The next one, there's a 6 out of 18 chance since you put the pencil back. And then the next one, there's a 12 out of 18 chance. For a grand total of 864, 5,832, which reduces to 4/27. I'll accept any answer tomorrow as a fraction, a decimal, or a percent. Next one, a bag contains 9 red marbles and 7 black. You randomly select 4 marbles from the bag. What is the probability that you get a red, a red, and a black if you do not replace? So again, now we're not putting it back. So there is a 9 out of 16 chance of getting a red. Then there's a 7 out of 15 chance of getting a black. Then there's an 8 out of 14 chance of getting a red. And then there's a 6 out of 13 chance of getting a black again, for a grand total of 9 out of 130. And I know I already reduced the fractions, but you can, as I said, reduce those as you go there. So a 9 out of 130 chance. In English class, 57% of the students complete an extra credit essay. 27 of the students complete the extra credit and get an A. What is the probability the student completes the extra credit essay and also gets an A? So now, the probability the student completes the extra credit, that is 57% of the class, and this is 27% of the class. The X's cancel. You get 27 out of 57, which reduces to 9/19. Do a survey, filling in the survey then. I know that going yes, 880 of the parents said yes. That means 456 of the coaches said yes. There's 120, I'm sorry, adding this up is 501. Finding out this number is 1,000, making this one 120. And this one 165. So filling in the chart with the numbers so that each of the columns adds up to the total and each of the rows adds up to the total. Now, using that and rounding to 3 decimal places, I want to find the relative joint and relative marginal frequencies. So remember, everything's out of the total. So 0.586, 0.304, 0.080, 0.030. Those would be the joint. This is a 5. Adding those up or finding the marginal relative frequencies. So again, next question now matters. Like, you have to be careful as to what is and what the wording is. A survey asked residents of the east and west side of the city whether they support the construction of a bridge. The results given in the joint relative margin frequencies are shown in the two-way table. What is the probability that a randomly selected resident who supports the construction, so we're talking about those people, the yes people, is also from the east side? So 0.47 out of the 0.83, which gets me a total of 56.6%. What is probably the randomly selected students from the west side? So it's got to be from the west side. It's against the construction. So 0.09 out of 0.45, again, giving me a total of 20%. Reading the questions carefully here matters because, again, if we're talking about the west side people, you can only use the west side as your total. You want to find the quickest route to school. You map out the 3 routes before school and you randomly select a route and record whether or not you are late or on time. The table shows the findings. Assume you leave at the same time each morning. Which route should you leave? Or which route should you use? So again, on time compared to total. So you're talking about 7 out of the 11 times, which is a 0.636 success rate. Route B has a 0.786 success rate, and this one has a 0.75. So route B has the most number of times in which you are on time based on the total. At the high school swim meet, you and your friend are competing at the 50-meter event. You estimate that you have a 40% chance that you will win and a 35% that your friend will win. What is the probability that you or your friend will win the event? Since you're talking about an or situation, you might win or your friend might win. So that means there's a 0.75 or 75% chance that you guys will win, or that one of you will win. Now, the meteorologist states the probability that it's going to rain today is 55%. The probability that it will rain tomorrow is 45%. And the probability that it will rain either today or tomorrow is 35%. I'm sorry, it'll rain both days is 35%. So you take the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. So what is the probability of the or situation? 65%. This is the probability of A or B. Of the 400 students at the school, 12 play volleyball, 18 play softball, and 6 play both. What is the probability a randomly selected student plays volleyball or softball? So again, volleyball or softball would be 12 out of 400. 18 out of 400 minus the 6 out of 400. which gets you 24 out of 400, or 3/50. Again, you can write that as a fraction, as a decimal, or as percent. You wake up in the morning and walk to the closet. You decide that you have 10 shirts, you have 5 pair of pants, and you have, and you decide whether to wear shoes or flip-flops. So there's 2 choices there, for a grand total of 100 outfits. Spelling, outfits. So you take the possibilities of one event plus times the possibility of the next event times the possibilities of the next event. So those are your choices in each one. So you multiply 10 times 5 times 2. You are picking a password. 4 letters, 3 numbers. How many possible passwords can be made? Now, how many possible can you make if you cannot repeat anything? Well, there's 26 letters in the alphabet, and there's 10 numbers, 0 to 9, which gives a grand total of 456,976,000 possibilities. Now, if I can't repeat anything, now it's 26, 25, 24, 23, because again, I can't repeat a letter, and then 10 times 9 times 8. So there's a significant amount less possibilities if I cannot repeat any of them. Evaluate, and I am going to make you show your work using the formula right there. So you will not have to memorize the formula, but you're talking about n factorial over n minus r factorial. This is all I am requiring that you show in my class. Okay, so I need to at least see that you understand how to put it into the formula. So this one's a combination, so 11 factorial over 11 minus 4 factorial, and also 4 factorial. So 11 factorial, 7 factorial, 4 factorial, and the answer to this is 330. So again, I want to see that you understand how to put the numbers into the formula and then solve it. School has decided to make a committee to talk to the technology classroom. There are 30 teachers that are assigned up to be on the committee, but there's only room for 6. This is a combination since it's a committee. 593,775 possibilities. So remember, if the order doesn't matter, it's a combination. The next one, there are 12 runners in the race, and how many ways can they do first, second, and third? So this is a permutation. Okay, 12 runners in 3 places, 1,320. Next one, math, and there's no repeating letters. So you're talking about 4 factorial, or a permutation of 4 choosing 4. So there's 24 different ways that you could scramble the letters, math. Now, what happens if you do have repeats? Well, there's 8 letters in the word Rockford, but there's 2 R's and there are 2 O's, meaning there's 10,080 possibilities. The Bears and the, Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers are in the Central Division with 2 other teams. So there's 4 teams total. What is the probability that the Bears will win the division and the Packers will play second? This is a permutation because you're talking about first and second. Okay? So there's 12 possibilities, and the chances that one will occur is a 1 in 12 chance. Now, there's other people that might do it this way. The Bears have a 1/4 chance of winning the division, which means the Packers have a 1 in 3 chance of getting second, which also gets you 1/12. There are 25 players in MLB baseball team, 10 pitchers, 15 position players. The team would like to create a 5-player group to represent the team at a local fundraiser. What is the probability of choosing 3 pitchers and 2 players? So of the 25 players, I want to choose 5 to be on this committee. That's your total. Success. So now I want to get 3 of the 10 pitchers. And I also want to get, 2 of the 15 position players. So that's 12,600, 130, and I reduced the fraction. Looking at the chart, use the probability chart to answer the questions. What is the most likely outcome for the spinner? 5. What is the probability that you will land on a multiple of 10? Well, the multiple of 10 would be 10 or 20. So if I get 10, there's a 1 in 6 chance, and if I get 20, there's a 1 in 12 chance for a grand total of 3 12ths. So there's a 1/4 possibility of landing on a multiple of 10. It's either 10 or 20. Notice I use the word or because now you're talking about adding the probabilities. Histogram. All right, there's a formula that you're going to have to repeat over and over and over and over again for each one of these. So this one's going to take you a little bit of time. So you are using a 28% success rate. It's a combination. You're asking 7 adults. And so then 72% do not believe. So now each one of these, you are going to have to fill in the K value. So the K value for you have choosing 0 with a success of 0, meaning 7 said no. So according to the survey, 28% of adults believe in UFOs. You asked 7 random students whether 7 randomly chosen adults whether they believe in UFOs or watching the planet. That's how you would do the first one. You get 0.100. You repeat this for each one, replacing it with the new value. Remember, 1 is how many people said yes, which is 1 is your success, and then 6 would then be your no's. So 2, 7, 3. I'm now going to fill in the rest of the chart. So if you want to pause and do it yourself before actually looking to see if you get each one of these. So now the histogram. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have the numbers on the side there. So the first one would be 0.1. Next one is 0.273, 0.319, 0.206, 0.08, 0.02, and 0. What is the most likely outcome to your survey? 2 out of the 7. What is probably the fewer than 3 of the adults you survey believe in UFOs? So again, you have to do each one of the ones that are less than 3 and add them together. So add 2 and 1 and 0 for a 69.2%. Again, it says round your answer to the nearest 1/10 of a percent. DeAndre Jordan has the highest field goal percentage in the NBA at 67.2. During a game, what is the probability DeAndre will shoot 8 out of 11 shots? So 8 out of the 11 with a 67.2% success rate and a 0.328 failure rate. Using your calculator, you would get 24.2%. Good luck on your test. If you have any questions, make sure you talk to Mr. Bone or myself, and hopefully everyone will get an A.